there's a sump another 30 feet below us. And where you guys are standing right now, we're about 700 feet below the level of the ocean. So if this young man was swimming in the ocean right now, the surface of the ocean would be 700 feet above your head. Wow. And what's cool about this place for me is what you don't see. I'll just compare this to a place I worked for 2 weeks before coming here. There's a mine where they're still mining today down in South America. It's a mile deep, and it's where they get copper out of the ground for cell phones and electricity and all sorts of stuff like that. That's where most of us as Minnesotans get our copper today. You get down there, and down here, if you come back in the middle of winter when there's snow on the ground, it's the same temperature down here. It's 52 degrees. That mine, a mile deep, you're getting closer to the center of the earth, it's 110.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in that mine, it's 110 degrees, so you don't wear what you're wearing right now. You know what I wore when I was in that mine? We wore raincoats, kind of like what you had there, but they didn't work real well because it was too hot, so we took them off. So my buddies bought t-shirts, Hanes t-shirts. You can buy a whole bunch of them at once. And then we wore rain pants that came up to our waist, because when you stepped out underground in that mine, just like here, all the tiny cracks in the rock are filled with water. And if you're quiet, you can hear the pumps running in the back. To keep this place so that you guys don't have to do this tour in scuba suits, we pump out 33 million gallons of water every year. That mine that I was in down in South America pumps out 40 million gallons of water every 4 days. That's 10 million gallons of water a day. The water comes in and it hits you like you're in a heavy rainstorm. 90% of the mines I've been in underneath the water table, when you get down there, the water's pouring in. You go to the Pioneer mine up in Ely, well now it's a lake, but when they were active mining there, 60 million gallons of water a month. So what we did here in a year, they can do in 2 weeks. You can't hear? You know, when I have plugged noses and I come down here, my ears don't pop, you know what you gotta do? You gotta yawn. I'll try and make the tour boring for you. Maybe that'll help. And then you can swallow a little bit, and if that doesn't work, you want me to tell you a secret? If your ears are stuffy down here, when you go back up to the surface, no matter how stuffy they are down here, they'll go back to normal. So don't worry.
When we go back up?
Okay. It's a good question. I mean, once I had a really bad sinus infection. That's important, but being safe down here is also important. And based on the fractures in the rock that the geologist would see, you could look at the rock around you and figure out the best way to drill tunnels through it. So when you're creating the shaft and sinking those drifts, you got to sink them at a perfect angle so that the rock above your head doesn't shear off and come down on the drift.
I'm slow.
Boulders, not gravel. This is gravel we use to fill in this crosscut. Boulders would come tumbling down here, and these men who worked right here would pick up those boulders by hand and set them into a cart. We blasted rock here into cubic foot chunks. A cubic foot of our iron ore weighs 360 pounds. So if one man can't lift that rock, which happened every now and again, great. You hire 2 of them and you cut their pay in half. And if 2 can't do it, you hire 3 and you cut their pay into thirds. But that ore has got to get into a cart because we're all paid by the ton. And if you wouldn't lift that ore into a cart, those guys up above your head would use a lot of interesting words as they told you to hurry up.